Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Board Game Backwards, where we play board games having never read the rules. I'm Shay.
And I'm Brian.
And today we are going to be playing Furnace, designed by Ivan Lashin and published by Hobby World. And on the box here, it says an engine building game. So
I like engine building games.
That's a clue.
Yeah. It's
Engine
a big clue.
building. The box is very light, like super light.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So we I don't know what to expect, really. I mean, I know nothing about this. I'm sure you know nothing about this game.
I don't know.
It came out in 2020. It is rated 7.4. It's 375 overall. 30 to 60 minute playtime and a weight of 2.27. So it's still decently up there. The 7.4, I mean, it's not like the greatest thing in the world, but I feel like a lot of the top, I don't know, maybe 500 games, maybe even more, you're kind of sitting at that like 7.4.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the recent games we've played are about mid sevens.
Yeah. So I mean, that really doesn't mean a whole lot to me, honestly. But
that's good to know.
Low weight, and with it just being us two, I would assume we might be closer to the 30 than the 60.
Yeah.
Because it's a 2 to 4 player game. So, let's just dive in. We'll open her up and see what we're working with here.
Let's do it. All right.
It's looking pretty basic. I could tell from the weight there's no board. No board to work with, just some cards.
So we have here some black cubes. We have here some yellow octagons. And some blue or some gray bars.
Yeah, like a blue-gray.
Okay, that looks like gold.
They do look like metal bars, but if they were gold,
maybe it's
they would
iron.
be yellow.
Maybe it's iron.
Yeah, some sort of metal. We have varying sizes of wooden circles with also different colors. So they're pretty funky.
Based on the card artwork, I think the black cubes are stone. The yellow octagons are barrels of oil.
Mm-hmm.
And the gray
blue
is iron. That's what I'm guessing. So we got some cards here.
We have this engine-looking cardboard card with some smooth grooves on the left side of it. So I'm not sure if gears go there or if the wooden circles go there.
Yeah.
Resources. We have coins as well. 1, 2, 3, 5, 25. We have like a coat of arms sort of a thing, which I'm wondering if that's just supposed to be a first player.
Yeah,
token.
That's a good guess.
A dice, like I said before, some gear, cog looking things.
There's not a lot to go off here.
No, there is not.
But these cards give a lot of clues. Go ahead and read through the people abilities. It talks about different phases of the game: auction phase, production phase. Disc, I don't know what that refers to, but go ahead and read those. And It says you can upgrade your buildings. I'm guessing that we start off with the side that has them whited out, and then when you upgrade them, you get like the bonus, maybe? Or maybe I have it backwards.
Yeah, and this one card says you're spending the metal instead of gears, so I'm assuming gears come into play. Is that reflected on any of these cards at all? Oh yeah, there's some.
I've switched my mind. I think anything that has a gear on it is the unupgraded version. If it has a gear on it anywhere, and then when you upgrade it, you flip it over and you get...
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the same as what I said before, but...
Okay. So this one card says that it says you get an additional coin, it is considered a disc of your color. So you have black, yellow, red, and white. I'm assuming each player picks one of these items, and then that corresponds with the color.
All right, well, I pick red.
All right, I'll be black. I'll do the top hat. And then we have a wood one that doesn't have color on it, so I'm not sure exactly how that plays in. So yeah, we have a production phase, and we have an auction phase. Well, let's just say we each get one of these facts cards. Because why not?
Okay.
These people cards that gave us a clue.
We each get one?
I don't know. This one has 5.
Yeah, like it has a 5 on it?
No, it has 5 cards instead of 4.
Yeah.
Either we each spice of life. Either we each get one, or it's just like a round modifier for everyone.
I'll let you decide. Would you rather have it be your dude or a round?
Just to make things easier, I say we just make it a round so that we just have the same modifier.
Okay.
Did you see a difference in these cards at all?
Not really.
I don't see any clear difference.
Not really, no.
I'm thinking they're meant to be together, and whoever packed this up just didn't do it properly.
Okay. Let's just mix them up.
So really, it's just kind of a matter of deciding what we start out with and how these, businesses or whatever they are produced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think at the top of these starting cards, there's 2 stone. I think anything at the top is something you collect every turn. So you collect that every turn. And then at the bottom, there's things you could do with that stone or things that you could... So like you could trade 3 stone for 4 coin.
But you can only do it once.
Only once.
Mm-hmm. That round, I guess that is.
Yeah, per round. But if it has like a ×2, you could do it up to 2 times.
If you can afford it.
In a round, if you can afford it.
Or both of us, we have a gear on top. So I'm wondering if you don't want the second or the third option, you can just take a gear.
Maybe. Yeah. So you could do like one of these 3 things.
One of those 3. Not all.
You could take a gear. You could trade a gear and a stone for, what is that? To redo a card or to...
Maybe just use a card again.
But what card? These are the only cards. Would it be like use another card's ability for a second time type of thing?
We can say that.
Okay.
I say we just, make it easy on ourselves to say that.
Okay. So we have a direction. How do you win? And what are these?
Yeah, our little...
Maybe it's a 4-round
token
like 4
things.
Round
well,
game.
But the weird thing is you have this card, that says you have an additional 2 coins. It is considered a disc of your... Oh, I guess that doesn't clarify anything. And I think these are our discs. I think that's when it talks about disc, it's talking about our 4
I think you're
things.
right.
So if it's saying whenever you get compensated, consider your disc being 1 higher.
So higher disc is a good thing.
Discs modifying our rewards?
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of what it sounds like.
The higher disc you are, the more you get.
So like if we get
per turn
2 stone the first round, the second round, do we get 4? So yeah, I'm thinking 4 rounds, and each round our disc increases, which increase our income.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sure. Okay, so what do you think auction phase is like? Also, what's the order? I'm guessing auction phase is first, then production phase.
Or is it production so we get our resources and then the auction? Yeah, how do we even acquire these cards?
I don't know, because there's no cost on any of them.
Unless...
And what are we auctioning? Or do we auction money? Like we're trying to get money so that we can get new buildings and increase our production level.
Right. There's nothing that shows, at least from what we can tell, a cost.
Yeah. maybe each auction you flip over, I don't know, the number of players plus 2 cards, and that's what you're auctioning. And I guess it's just whoever wants to spend the most on, like the card goes to the highest bidder.
Yeah. That could definitely be it. I'm happy to say that.
Okay.
Card goes to the highest bidder.
So maybe it's not, number of players plus 2. Maybe it's
just number of players.
Yeah, maybe it's just the number of players.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy to say that. That makes things easy. So then one thing that we have to figure out is, because we know how to acquire money. That's easy because it's an ability on our cards.
Uh-huh.
I'm just not entirely sure the upgrade, because we have one card that mentions that when we're upgrading cards, these gears are used.
I'd say that the upgrading goes after sometime after the production.
Yeah.
So production,
I'm not
you collect
sure
resources,
how,
you figure out what you want to do, and then you can upgrade cards.
Right, but how?
And then how do you upgrade cards?
That's what I'm not sure of. Is it?
Well, let's pick a number of production required to upgrade a card. And then, so you can only upgrade the new stuff you buy. On one of these sides is the unupgraded.
Maybe it's just the amount that you have to use. The cost is the round. So if it's round 1, it costs 1 gear to upgrade. And if it's round 2, it's 2, and round 3 is 3. And I think the white just means it's clear. It's letting you know what's on the other side, but it's not. There's no substance there.
Yeah. So the white is the unupgraded side.
Yeah. It's saying on the back, you have 3, but you can't use that yet until it's upgraded.
Mm-hmm.
So the white outline stuff is the first side. Because I'm just thinking if gears are required to upgrade, I mean, there's not a lot here.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you spend it, you'd put it back in the bank.
Yeah.
But if it ever got any bigger than 4, or is it always just
Let's say it's always, well, one of them says that you can use iron instead of the production, but you must spend all of your production first.
Right. So are we thinking it's just 1?
No, I think it's more than 1, because it says that it looks like you can do a mix of iron and production.
Right.
But whatever production you're going to spend, it has to be first. So
it could
I'd
also
say
be
like 2 or 3.
It could also be, though, that you can upgrade as many cards as you can afford on your turn.
Uh-huh.
And so it could just be saying, too, like, say you have 5 cards played out and you only had 3 gears, you spent the 3. Now the other 2, if you have the metal for it, you can use metal instead.
Mm-hmm. Let's just say it's 2 per upgrade.
Well, I'm shocked. I have to admit. That was probably the easiest we've ever come up with rules, even though we had nothing to go off of. We just didn't have a problem with just saying, that'll be it.
Yeah, let's do that. Cool. There are still things we haven't accounted for. These tokens.
Yeah, the multiplier tokens and the wooden.
If the disc is really just corresponds with the rounds, why have both? I mean, I feel like they're different, but I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
How it seems like you can increase your disc
right
through some kind of payment, but I mean we have no idea. So I think for simplicity, I think just going with round number, but we're obviously missing things.
Right.
But let's see where this takes us. How much money do you think we start off with?
I don't know. 10, 15, I'm not sure.
Let's go 10.
Okay. So do we want to do production phase or auction phase first? Like auction phase would probably make more sense because you would get something to then get you resources in the production phase. You can be first. So you can place a bet.
Okay.
bid.
A bid. Okay.
One thing that we've seen, do we want it to be that the bid can go back and forth?
Yeah. Until somebody's like, that's too expensive.
Right.
Okay. I'm bidding 3 on the top one card.
Okay. That one, 2 stone to 1 oil. You can do it twice. That's pretty good. Versus the other one is just 2 stone. I will do 5.
Now, can I be like, okay, well, I also want to bid 2 on this? Or,
Mhm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to bid 2 on that.
I'm happy to leave things as they are.
So you're done auctioning.
Well,
depending on you're putting it back in my court.
I'm saying we can either bleed each other dry, or I'm comfortable with letting you take that one and I take that one.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay.
So I spend 2 and get this one. You spend 5 and get that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So production phase.
Yep.
Collect your base resources.
Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, I think it's easy to say simultaneously we just resolve our cards.
Okay.
However we want.
Yep. So of these options, I'm obviously going to pick the 2 other brick. And of this one, I'm going to spend 3 and get 4 more money.
Sweet.
Do we auction again, or is there like more that we do on this phase? I feel like
I say we just move on to the next round.
Okay.
We'll just go quick. We can say round 2.
Very quick.
What if we say 3 cards this time?
Okay.
Make it a little bit more interesting. All right. 1 gives a metal. 1 gives 2 stone for.
I will bid 3 on the.
How much money did you start with?
I started with 10, just like you. I spent.
Oh, and then you got
2,
money.
And
you
then
got money.
I spent 3 cubes
Cool.
to get 4 more.
Nice.
So I'll take that back. You take those back. I spend these to get these. And you get that.
Okay.
Okay, collect your resources and whatnot. I'll do this and trade 3 coins for another 4 money. Okay, and then I'm going to upgrade. I'm going to spend 2 production to upgrade this card.
Upgrading eliminates the resource you get.
It takes away the top thing.
Yeah.
Whatever the top one is, and it gives you the bottom one.
Yikes. I guess I'll hold on to these. I don't know. Then we're just going into the last round. Okay, game over. I won. Good job.
I don't know how we score.
I know.
Let's say we get 1 point for every upgraded building we have. I'm just kidding.
I feel like it was
that just means I would win.
Yeah, I know. But I feel like
that's why I said it.
I feel like it was harder than just 1 point. I mean, to get
so like 2 points?
Yeah, probably like 2.
And then
just the coins can just be what they're worth.
A point for every 1 oil, for every 2 iron, and for every 4 stone.
Sure.
Since it's easier to get.
Yeah.
And then what do we say about money?
Just a point for each, just whatever it totals up to be. Or it could be like 3 or 5.
1 for every point for every 5.
However we want to do it.
Say every 5.
Okay.
So that'd be 3 points, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got 10 points.
I got 6. Okay.
All right.
You know, I'm actually not gonna lie. I honestly think that just about every single time we ever play with our own rules, it's not really ever fun. But I did kind of enjoy the bidding that we came up with.
Yeah.
That was a little fun
like,
to kind of be like,
try to think like, do I want him to let him have that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Hopefully the bidding is as cool as we made it.
And hopefully everything else is much cooler.
Card. Yes.
Let's go ahead and read the book. It is quite a small rule book. That's what I like to see. The only game I've seen a rule book, the smallest rule book I've ever seen is Century Golem Edition. It is 1 card.
Nice.
It's front and back, but just the one thing explains the whole game.
Does that assume that you've played a different version of Century before?
Nope. Standalone.
Really?
Yep. Wow. It's about that big. So a little bit smaller than a regular piece of paper. Front and back. That's it.
Nice.
Yeah. There are 2 types of effects, extraction and processing. All extraction effects are mandatory, and the players may not refuse to extract resources or extract them partially. Which, I mean, why wouldn't you want to take the free resources anyway?
I don't know.
Processing. If there is an arrow with a line, the player may choose to discard the resources listed to the right of it in order to gain the resources listed to the right. A compensation effect is resolved by the player who bid on the card but didn't get it. Interesting.
What's the compensation?
The compensation effect is at the top. Yeah. Fascinating. That actually is going to make it even more fun to bid. Interesting mechanic. I like that. Okay.
So that's not what you gain each turn?
Nope.
That's just the compensation effect.
That's the compensation of the player who bid on it and didn't receive the card. All players starting from the first player are going clockwise, and going clockwise take turns bidding on the cards with their capital discs. During their turn, a player must place one of their discs on any available company card. It's like Nidavellir or Nidavellir, however you say it.
Yeah.
Because you had those 3 sections, and then we put our bid. Yeah.
And the capitalist gets a full extra token? Busted.
Yeah.
Who's the capitalist? I want to be the capitalist.
I say we don't play with the capitalist.
But I think of myself more as a free market enthusiast.
It says here, example, there is a white 4 and a red 3 placed on a card with the compensation effect of extracting 2 coal. The owner of the 4 receives the card, but first the owner of the 3 gains 2 coal 3 times, meaning 6 coal total.
Wow.
Okay. Company cards must be resolved one by one. Each card can only be activated once per production phase. The cards can be activated in any order, but once the player starts resolving the next card, they can't get back to the previous ones, even if their effects weren't resolved completely. No effect can be inserted between the 2 effects of one card. The player must first resolve all effects they want or can from one card before proceeding with the next one. At the end of the game, each player adds up their money, and whoever has the most wins.
Oh, so money is how you win.
I was kind of wondering that myself, if it was just money. Now, with a 2-player game, at the beginning of the game, assign a set of capital discs that wasn't chosen by the player to a dummy player. During the auction phase, roll a die after each second player's bid. All right, everyone, we've read the rules. There was quite a lot that we got right.
Yeah.
We placed cards in the middle. We knew due to the agent cards or whatever they're called, that there would be an auction involved. So we were auctioning. We didn't understand that our discs were for auctioning. We were using money instead, but kind of a similar deal. We were moving the turn tracker, the round tracker properly. We only played 4. You're only supposed to play 4. We were using our cards. We just didn't understand the compensation action, which makes the game a lot more interesting.
Yes.
But it is a very basic game.
Yes.
I mean, there's a reason why the weight is like 2.3 or whatever it is. So
yeah.
I'm excited to play, but yeah, I'm kind of impressed that we didn't do too bad.
Yeah.
On what we came up with.
We did reasonably well.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and play now. Feel free to watch our playthrough on either Spotify, our Spotify subscription, or over on Patreon. And once we're done, we'll come back and we'll share our thoughts. All right, everyone, we are back. You know, it wasn't too. It was quick.
It was a quick game.
It was. I love
4
quick
rounds,
games.
4
Easy,
rounds
plop
go
it down.
Pretty quick, yeah.
I didn't quite start my timer. I started it right in the middle, and it was like 22 minutes, so it was probably about 45. Which is first play too.
Yeah.
So it would probably be closer to about 30, with some more experience. Okay, so the final score was Brian with 51 and me with 57.
Ugh.
So another close game.
Very close.
You won last time, so I guess it's only fair.
It's only fair. I let you win.
There you go. All right, so the last couple of times I've asked you what you thought first, so I will do the service of going first this time.
Okay.
So, my initial thoughts, I really enjoyed it quite a bit. Extremely simple. I mean, really simple. There wasn't, I'm sitting here and I'm just kind of almost amazed at what this game was able to accomplish with how simple it was, because there was so much analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, people don't like. It's frustrating. It can get annoying. It was our first time, however, so you have to expect that in some way. But at the same time, I almost view it as a reflection of what this game was able to do. It's all you had to do was auction a card. It's like you bet on the middle cards, and then play your cards in the order that's going to be best for you. And that's it. That's amazing. Like, it's so easy. And yet there's so much strategy involved, which I really enjoyed. So, I didn't mind the way. I wouldn't want the analysis paralysis to be that extensive in every game. I would hope that it would get easier.
Uh-huh.
But as we were playing, I was kind of thinking, man, how would this go with 4 players? Of course, the game would go longer, but I don't think as long as maybe you would originally expect, because someone can kind of look at all of the options, and while they're waiting for someone, they can think, okay, I really want to go there, but if this happens, I can go there, and if this happens, I can go there. So they can kind of plan out, and obviously, depending on where everyone else goes, that is going to affect on ultimately where they're going to play. But there is still a little bit of pre-thinking that they can do. So hopefully it wouldn't be as long of a wait for everybody else after the first player's gone. But yeah, I'm just impressed. I'm impressed with how much thought was involved, how much I enjoyed the thought, and how simple it all was in the process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a good game. The things that I didn't love about it, there were a couple things that I didn't love. I think one of them is after the auction phase, everybody's just kind of in their own little world, not really interacting. Like, there's nothing to do that interacts with the other players. I guess I like games that have you doing stuff more with the other players. It's kind of like the auction phase was very involved and strategic. Me against you against the ghost. But then after that, it was basically just me trying to figure out how to most effectively use what I had, which on the one hand is good, but on the other hand, I guess I just prefer things that that have me interacting with the other players more, I guess.
I mean, I definitely like games that have a more player interaction too, but there was something about this game that hit the sweet spot for not having player interaction for me. It was probably the quietest game we've ever played.
Probably, yeah.
And yet I really didn't mind because during that whole thing, I have all this dialogue in my head. All of my inner monologue is just going crazy. Okay, we got to do this. We're going to do this. And okay, if he goes there, then I really need that, so it wasn't boring. I wasn't kind of sitting here twiddling my thumbs because I was actively thinking the whole time.
Right.
But I could see, obviously, well, and the other thing too is, say you just went, now you're waiting for me. You're still thinking because now you've moved on.
Yeah.
So it's not like, because I have played games where you really do have to wait and sit there. I'm glad I just thought of this because I wanted to bring it up. So I played Flamecraft with my family on Sunday.
Yeah.
We didn't even finish.
Really?
I was the one to call it quits.
Really?
Yes. So we played with 5 people. So the max amount that you can play with.
Yeah.
And it was agonizing.
Really?
Because you have to, you can't all play at the same time.
Yeah.
Because you have to wait for someone to do all their crap. And that's one of the games that doesn't require a lot of, there's very, like, once you know what you're going to do, that's it. It doesn't have to be like, okay, if I go there, but then if someone does that, then that's going to screw things up. And so then I have to go here. No, it's just kind of like, all right, I think I'll go there next. Oh, but I have to wait for 4 people to decide what they want to do first. So my mom was doing dishes and my dad was off doing who knows what, because it took a while before it was everyone else's turn. But this game requires a lot more thought. Yeah. So,
and that is something cool about the simultaneous turn mechanic in some of these games. This game in particular, where everybody can take their turn at the same time, it does make the game go a lot quicker. And you feel like you're doing something the whole time, which I think is points in its favor. One caution against that is some people are known to cheat in certain games. I mean, I have friends that I just know if I'm playing a board game with them, like, they're going to try to get away with stuff.
That's so dumb.
In this game, since everybody's taking turns simultaneously, it would be so easy to cheat.
Yeah.
So easy. And nobody would ever catch you. I had no idea what you were doing the whole game. And you probably had no idea what I was doing the whole game. We just trusted that we were both doing things by the book. And we were. I assume, I don't have any doubt. But there are certain people that I know that if I were to play this with them, I wouldn't have that guarantee.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a downside with the plus of it, having the time of the game.
I mean, of course, though, and the rules even said this, like if you're worried about someone messing up, you can just
take your
watch them
one at a time. Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
If you have a group of 4 people playing this game, and you have 2 friends that you don't trust, and you just watch the other 2, and then you and the other person hurry and go through.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be that big of a deal. But yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I do.
But there's
really
a trade-off
enjoy that.
there.
Yeah.
In that the game takes a lot longer.
Right.
To finish if you're doing that.
Right. But it's nice that you have the choice.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I really like games that allow everyone to go at the same time.
Yeah.
That asynchronous option. One thing that I like too, and I'd have to play a couple other games with different people to see, but the what are they called? The capitalist cards. I thought that was a fun little thing that they threw in there. Really simple. I mean, not a huge game changer, but just kind of fun how you have your own ability. You were able to twice get in there and stop me from taking a card.
Yep.
So that really helped to balance things out. And then for me, I was able to spend metal to upgrade a card.
Yeah.
Instead of having to wait a whole other turn to get another upgrade token.
Right.
So, it's cool how we have that. There's 3 other cards. I think it's kind of lame that there's only 5 actually. I think it'd be cool to have a deck of a whole bunch of different things that can change the game. I think there might be expansions to this, and maybe that part of that is adding more modifying cards, more capitalist cards. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I do see a lot of similarities between, well, I mean, not a lot of similarities, but the auction mechanic is very similar to Nidavellir.
Uh-huh.
And I liked playing that mechanic with this game a lot more than the other.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't love was the randomness of the ghost player and the fact that he went last. So like if he went first, you could work around it. But since he goes last, he could just screw you over and there's nothing you can do. And but those luck things, they make it really intense. But I also just like,
when you think about it though, it's really not that different to had we played with 3 people. I mean, in the grand scheme of things,
it's different in that it's randomized.
Right, but to us, what the third person would do would be just as random. Had we had a third person here this whole time and they were doing those exact moves, it wouldn't have been crazy. You know what I mean? Like it's
except
the dice makes it random.
Except that he went last every time. If there was a third person here, sometimes he would go first and you would go last. So in that sense, like,
but there's still
would switch it up.
But there's still always going to be that thing for you where there's always going to be, after you go, 2 more people and you have no idea what they're going to do.
Right.
So regardless if you're playing with 3 people or you're playing with the...
Well, if that's the case, I'd say the one change I'd make to it then is to have it go in order. Instead of it always going last, you know, one turn it goes last, one turn it goes first, one turn it goes second, you know.
Yeah. Easy modifier.
Easy to modify, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's
and if I were to play this, I'd make a house rule that did that.
Yeah. You know? I mean, that's a really simple rule.
Yeah.
And not game breaking or ridiculous at all. Yes. I think that's a good idea, actually.
I thought it was fun having it there because it did kind of throw in that wrench that kind of messed you up. Because if it's a 2-player and you're just, I just feel like the strategy is so much easier, so much more straightforward. Throwing in the third person was really like...
I liked it. I thought it was fun.
I thought it was fun too. I just didn't like that he always went last and he always seemed to mess up all of my plans. It's fine. But...
I think it was incorporated a lot better than other games that have that additional player. Because some games, they throw in the third player. And I'm trying to think, I think Dune Imperium throws in like a bot. And it just didn't feel all that fun. Hopefully I'm correct on that. But regardless, the game I'm thinking of that had that third player, it just wasn't implemented as well as I feel like this was.
Yeah.
It didn't seem out of place. It didn't seem forced. And it seemed like a really fun 2-player game.
Yeah.
And I can see why that third player was there, and yet it can be fun with 2. But some games that have that bot, you're kind of like, I'll just never play it with 2 because that was dumb. But this didn't change it so much that it kind of made me feel that way. So I think with it, playing it with 2 people and yet having to implement that, it still was really fun with 2 people.
Yeah.
And I like how it's so small and so quick that it is a good 2-player game. Because there are games out there that they're really just, I mean, I can't imagine myself ever really enjoying ever playing Wonderland's War with 2 people. Like I can't see that being a thing, because then you lose the ability to bet on who you think is going to win a battle.
Yeah.
That's a really fun aspect and a big part in my opinion. So there are some games that it's like, okay, well, yeah, you can play 2, but you probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
And this isn't a really, like, I could actually see myself never playing with more people and having a lot of fun just 2-player.
Yeah.
And yet I can see myself having a lot of fun with 4.
Yeah. I think this was a really good 2-player experience.
Yeah. So I'll say the artwork is underwhelming. I mean, it's pretty blah. It's not ugly. It's not hideous to me. There are games that are just really awful. Like the OG version of, Castles of Burgundy is just trash. this is better.
Well, it's not trash. It's just old. It's just dated.
Yeah. But they still made a stylistic choice.
In the newer versions, they made it a lot better.
Yeah. But still, I mean, you think about it. There are some things that get better with time.
Uh-huh.
And some things just become dated. But I feel like when it comes to art, it could have been made 100 years ago and people could still choose bright colors and a good design over what they chose. So they still, regardless if it's old, they still made a poor choice. With this game, the artwork's fun. And I wouldn't say it's incredibly dull. There are some cards that have some bright, vibrant colors. This card I could actually see coming out of Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
And others not so much. But I don't know. They just don't. I actually never, now that I think about it, I never paid attention to the cards.
I noticed it a couple times. I mean, I wasn't looking at it.
But I feel like
I wasn't focused on it throughout, but there were a couple times I was like, oh, this is nice.
I feel like, though, if I'm not drawn to the theme, then they've failed in something.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if I go to a restaurant, there are some restaurants that they've nailed it. They realize that it's not just the food. It's about customer experience. It's about being treated well by employees. It's about having the correct ambiance. And that all together creates a successful restaurant, in my opinion. And I feel the same way with the game is, okay, you can have great rules and mechanics and it can be really fun. But if you didn't take me to a place, help me experience something, then I feel like they're missing a crucial aspect. And I really never got the sense at all that we were like getting businesses and we're vying to be the best business person. It just didn't come through.
Mm-hmm.
So
I guess I disagree a little bit. I liked the art. I thought it was good. I think it's simple, but not each card is unique. There are repeated pictures, but the artwork was good. The theme is very like Industrial Revolution,
right.
Like 1910s, like early 1900s. And I just feel like the portraits, the artwork, everything was just kind of thematically and stylistically similar. Even like the little tokens, the top hat, the white gloves, the little purse. I just think it all goes together well. It's nothing flashy, It's not the type of thing you open up and you say, wow, but I liked that it all seemed to fit together, and I thought it was pleasing enough.
Yeah. I mean, I think if they wanted to have made it more thematic and bring you deeper into this realm and this world, then they probably would have had to have made a couple of different boards, which does come with some downsides because I really do like how light this game is. And if you were traveling and you took everything out of the box, you could fit it all in a really small area.
Yeah.
Like it's a really good travel game.
In like a 1-quart Ziploc bag type thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so there is a plus to that as well that I think it is important for me to think about is, like you said, the artwork is still in theme. They did theme everything. It's not like it was completely abandoned. And the artwork was well done. It's just not my favorite, but it was well done.
Right.
But the fact that they were able to make a fun game that I enjoyed in such a small, compact amount of pieces and parts, that's impressive in and of itself.
Yeah.
So,
what would you rate it?
Yeah, I think I would probably give it like a 7.8.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably give it, I mean, it had some pluses, some things I really liked, it had a couple things I didn't love. I'd probably give it like a 6.5. So a little lower, but on the good end. I mean, it's entertaining enough and it's quick enough that if somebody said, hey, let's pull this out and play it, I'd be like, yeah, okay, sure. But it's not one that I'd rush to,
Yeah.
Introduce my friends to and stuff. So
yeah, I think I could see myself playing it often enough. I think it's one of those games like we were talking about last week, talking about like a palate cleanser game.
Yes.
It's not quite as fast as I would like for that purpose.
Uh-huh.
But I do feel like if you wanted to spend a Saturday, you got with the boys, or if you're lucky enough and you have some women, that's great, right?
Boys and girls? Whoa.
I'm not sexist here, trust me. But if you were lucky enough to get a Saturday, get your game group together, and you said from 9 to 5 o'clock we're doing games, then I think this would be a great game to bust out after a heavy game.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So it has its place.
Yep.
But still, your rating is respectable, and the community, they think it's a 7.4, which isn't bad. I enjoyed it. So there we have it. All right, everyone, thank you so much for listening. We definitely had a lot of fun spending this time with you. We hope that you enjoyed it. If you want to share your thoughts, feel free to please rate the podcast or jump on over to Patreon and join our Discord to kind of share any opinions that you had about the episode, or you can respond over on Twitter. And we'd love to hear with you. We'd love to engage with you. And we hope to have you tune in next week. See ya.
Bye.